Good afternoon, millennials. Welcome back to the Toast Patreon October episode number 2. I am here.
Or as the French say, duh.
You know all about French because you've been brushing up on your babble, haven't you?
100%. Bonne nuit.
Bon nuit, bitches. Well, welcome back
bitches.
to the Morning Toast Patreon. We have actually a really great episode for you today. It's a fresh take on a classic episode idea, which is general Q&A, except we split up the questions for Claudia and questions for me. So today's episode is going to be me interviewing Claudia with all of your guys' questions about our girl McClurdia.
That's me. McClurdia. You seem very busy over there.
Sorry,
like,
okay,
tchotchkeing,
I'll
touching.
explain.
What's wrong?
I'll explain. So we are filming this video and audio. We're doing like premium video, premium audio, just like how we do the show. But I have to read the questions from my computer. And so I was just trying to I thought I had a good setup, but I didn't. I think now is a better setup. I can look
Okay,
at
and
you.
why not the iPad?
Because I used Google Docs on my computer. And yes, I could have shared the doc with myself and I still could do it. And maybe I should do it. You know what? I feel like I should do that. So, Claudia, why don't you introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't know you?
Sure, guys. Hey, welcome back to the Toast Patreon. I'm Claudia, everyone's second favorite host, if we're being honest with one another. I'm so excited to be joining my sister Jackie here for this Patreon. This is one of the final episodes we'll be recording while we're not together for a while, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually really looking forward to my trip to Florida starting tomorrow. Obviously, I'm so excited to absolutely attack Roldini. Last night, I hit an all-time desperate low for Roldini contact. I was staring at his camera and his physique was looking so sick. He's really gotten nice and thick, not in in a really good healthy way. He's looking thick. He was laying on his belly and I was watching his camera from above and his svelte curves were just calling me. They were saying, Claudia, come. No, I'm not saying in a gross sexual way. I'm saying
svelte
they
curves.
were screaming, Auntie, I need to be loved. I need to be squeezed. I need to be hugged. And I said, Roldini, I'm coming down. I'll see you tomorrow. My flight lands at 4:30. That's what I said to the camera late last night.
Got it. Well, I'm so excited for you to be here. And as far as you being the second favorite host, I just wanted to clear that up because when assembling all these questions, we have pretty much the same, the exact same amount of questions, which I think shows that people are equally interested in the both of us.
I think a lot of our listeners, of course we have outliers. Oh, that's so not true. Of course we have outliers, but I think our core demographic is really around our age. And either you're at the place in your life where you're a Claudia or you're a Jackie. So I think the questions that were for you were from people who find themselves at similar life stages. Mm-hmm. And the people that were for me are from people who find themselves in similar life stages. So we're really covering the gamut of late 20s, early 30s.
Totally. So let's get into the questions for you. They are so varied. We got some duplicates, which just means that people are dying to know. And our first question is something that we actually got twice. What did you do with your $10,000 Kleinfeld credit that you mentioned in your book?
Yes. So in my book, if you haven't read it, you're disgusting. But I'll give you a little backstory. But there's more than one person listening to the podcast.
Right. I think they all read it.
100%, even though I got a dagger. So if you read my book, you know that in exchange for doing Say Yes to the Dress, I was also gifted a $10,000 credit to Kleinfeld's in exchange for posting about my episode and tagging Kleinfeld's. It was this barter. And I was really excited because I probably would have went to Kleinfeld's anyway at some point to look for a dress. So then it was just confirmed that I was going to get my dress from Kleinfeld. And I talk about in the book how I had a dress made at Kleinfeld's. It was fugly. I got it 2 months before my wedding for the first time, and it was literally so beyond ugly and unsalvageable that I pretty much just ditched it and went to I went to a different store entirely. And I literally never went back to Kleinfeld. I was you know what? I'm going to go to lunch. I'm not crazy about the dress, but we'll think about it and I'll come back. But the dress was already mine. So I never went back to Kleinfeld and I never heard from them. I don't know where the dress is. I don't know where my credit is. It's just we both stopped talking to each other, you know? Mm-hmm. It was really awkward.
Yeah, you were ghosted. Well, you ghosted them, I think.
It was a mutual ghost.
It's your dress to go and get.
I don't have any ill will towards them. I don't know if they have any towards me, but I feel like I didn't blame anyone for how bad the dress turned out. I mostly blame myself. Who did I think I was making a dress? I don't know anything about dressmaking.
Yeah.
Just buy something off the rack like everyone else.
Yeah. Our next question. Do you see yourself moving to Florida or Nashville first, or not moving at all and staying in New York City or New York suburb for life?
Like if I had to move out of New York, like I would obviously go to Florida. Like I would love to live in Nashville, but like my family's not there. And as much as like you can offer me the riches in Nashville, but I'm going to go where my family is. That's just how I am. And I feel two ways. Like part of me really believes that like I'm like never living out of New York. Like I really do love it here. Like this is where my life is. But then another part of me is just like resigned to the fact like eventually I'll end up in Florida. But like I'm not sure which of that 50% is going to be.
I don't think you're supposed to know right now because you have to live, you need to like get to the point in your life when you actually have to make that decision. You don't have to make it right now.
Yeah, no. And if I moved out of New York, it would be begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Which is not a good vibe.
But I think a lot of people move, you know, when they have a family, when the place that they're living no longer suits them. And they're sad to be leaving this place that they love, but it's just not the right time for and the right place for them anymore.
No, for sure. I mean, honestly, part of the reason why I feel like I'll stay here forever is because Ben has no desire to move. And unfortunately, there are two people in this marriage. Like, it's not just what I want, you know?
I don't know. I just feel like I know you. And it's like, yeah, there's two people in this relationship, but like it's whatever McClarty wants.
If I felt strongly enough about one option, I could make it happen and like force Ben for sure. If he felt strongly enough, he could force me, but neither of us feel strongly enough, so we are doing nothing and staying in the same fucking apartment we've lived in for 5 years that is far too small for us.
But right now you don't need to do anything.
No.
Right. Also, you're someone who's like, I'll deal with it when it's time to deal with it. Like, you don't need to be like making plans far in advance for hypothetical situations. That's not who you are.
No, I'm not a deeply proactive person. Like, I wait till shit gets bad enough and then I make a decision. And often that does not work in my favor because like I'll decide it's time to move and I'll move at the height of the market.
Interest
and get, like,
rates.
Like I should be a better planner, especially for financial reasons, but I'm simply not.
Yeah. Well, you can't really, no one could have planned for, actually, I
predicted.
think some people did predict it.
I think it's some people's jobs actually to predict.
And
like,
I think
the
some
economy.
people's jobs didn't predict it. And they're like, wait, inflation? Where did this come from?
Right,
it's like, it's math. McClarty, give us a wallpaper update. Are your bubbles out? Also, did you meet anyone at BravoCon? Oh, sorry, two different questions.
Okay.
And also,
on the
everybody
wallpaper,
wants the BravoCon actual behind-the-scenes Patreon tea. But first, tell us about your wallpaper.
I will. So, did you see my saga with the wallpaper?
I heard bits and pieces. Yes,
I had
and you
wallpaper.
had told me there was bubbles.
I had wallpaper installed, and then I had these sconces installed, and I was obsessed. And when I put the sconce on, it lit up my whole wall, and I realized the entire wallpaper is laying like shit, like literal bubbles everywhere, slanted, peeling off in the corners. So I had used Thumbtack because I love Thumbtack, and I used Thumbtack in Florida to get your wallpaper installed, flamingos, and they were great, right?
It's really, really, really good. I don't know if it's great.
That sounds good to me.
But like two different people installed the two different wallpapers in this room and I can see the difference.
Oh my God, you would just love to complain. Like there's nothing wrong with the
You
flamingos.
asked me a question. I've never mentioned it
Whatever.
once.
I did have the guy come back free of charge. It's peel and stick. So he just peeled it off and stuck it back on, primed the wall better, got rid of all the bubbles, and it looks so good. So thank you to everyone who was on that journey with me. And people were being so fucking mean to me, like as if I'm dumb, like I didn't notice. Like who looks at their wallpaper? It's like meant to be like decorative.
You know, that happened in our bathroom, our powder bathroom.
I know.
We did our whole powder bath in that sickening wallpaper with
gorgeous.
the tigers. It was gorgeous. I posted it, and then of course Zach sees it, and he's like, "It's bubbly and it looks like shit." And I'm like, "It looks great. What are you talking about? Like, who cares?"
Yeah, who cares? But then once the sconces were installed, I couldn't ignore it because I've been loving sconce life. The way that I just turn all the lights off in my house, and I have the two sconces on, and I can read and watch TV, and it's not harsh.
I have a
before
lamp.
Bed, I don't have to get up. Mm-hmm. It's a sconce or a lamp bedside is everything.
Yeah, my lamp is life changing. Anyway, Zach would never let that fly. He's so like
meticulous.
And so they stripped it all down, reprimed all of our walls. It took like
weeks
to wait because it had to be in different stages, like taking it
so
down,
annoying.
and then a few days later priming the wall, and then a few days later putting. Oh my God.
So
and I
annoying.
never documented that part because I'm like, let's just pretend it all
whatever
went right the first time.
Totally.
Even though in my original picture that I posted on my Instagram story, you can see bubbles.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that's how Zach found out about it. He's like,
100%. 100%.
I'm like, I think it looks sick.
Stunning.
Okay. Tell us about BravoCon. Did you meet anyone at BravoCon that you really liked but didn't think you would like prior to meeting them in person? Anything vice versa? Like, what's the actual tea that you didn't say on the toast?
Here's who I really liked. And I said this on the toast, Candice Dillard-Bessette. Like, was not a fan. Mm-hmm. She was really like a lovely woman. And it was obviously like very intimidating to be like the biggest loser there. You know, like you're walking around backstage and everyone is a Bravo celebrity and like no one's even looking at you. I will say some like real tea, real shade that like I didn't say on the podcast was like, I have known Kyle Richards for like many years. And she wasn't rude, but she was like, no, she was like rude. She was like dismissive of me. And then like, I don't know, I just like wasn't feeling the love. And then when the panel ended, everyone was walking off. The toasters like stampeded the stage and they were screaming, Claudia, Claudia. And then in front of all them, Kyle gave me like a hug and a kiss on the cheek when like she had kind of like ignored me all day. And I was like, oh, love you. And like, you know me, I'm like two-faced. I'm like, yes, yes. But like, I did notice how like she kind of paid me no mind until that moment. And me and Ben knows Mauricio, like we love them. And Ben was like, oh, is Kyle mad at you? I was like, I don't know. Like maybe she was, in her opinion, in her defense, like I imagine it was the last day. It was a brutal weekend for Bravo celebrities. So like I am gonna give people a pass, but I was just like,
It's all passable except for the part where she was phony at the end. Like,
no, I know. She like on stage came up to me like right off the panel while I was still on stage and gave me a hug and a kiss. And I was like, well, I would have expected that sort of greeting when I first saw you.
That is so crazy. You didn't even tell me that.
No, I forgot.
But do you feel like, you know, we talk a lot of trash on the show about.
Okay, so that's the other thing.
Then being like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you.
It didn't occur to me like until I pulled up and there was like a driveway that you pulled into for like the talent entrance. And it didn't occur to me how I was literally walking into a minefield until I pulled up and my car pulled up right next to Lisa Barlow's. Now, in recent history, like I have warmed up to Lisa Barlow, but on her first season, I guess I dragged her on the podcast and she sent me a nasty message. And I recently went to go find it because a couple weeks ago I was walking home and I saw Lisa Barlow on the street and I was like, LOL, what was that message she sent me? So I went to go find it. Not only had she unsent it, but she had wrote me another one being like, thanks for the kind words. Like, so she obviously keeps up with like our ever-changing opinions. So I didn't say hi to her or anything because like I did feel awkward. So there was a lot. And then like the second person I saw was Patricia Altschul. So like it was just a minefield of awkward scenarios. Thank God most of the people who I ran into, like Naomi, Shep, Austin, Leah McSweeney, who else? Like people who know the toast and love us. Like it was a lot of friendly Reza I was about to walk on and he like grabbed me. I was so happy to see him. So a lot of really, really good interactions. And no one was outwardly rude, but everyone there was just like big ego. You know, everyone thinks they're the shit and then they're in a room with people who also think they're the shit and really have the same level of fame and clout. And it was kind of like awkward for them.
Yeah. The thing about the housewives that is like weird to be around is because we do talk about them. And I don't feel like even if when you like someone in real life, if they're being an animal on the show, like you would call that out. But unlike the other shows on Bravo, none of the housewives are really toasters. So they don't know what we say about them. We also don't like clip our housewives bits for social. Like if we did that, then they would see it on Instagram, but they're not listening to a whole ass podcast to hear what like these two girls think about them.
No, but a lot of their like social media managers and assistants are. That's how a lot of them end up coming on the show.
Yes, but like who's going to tell their boss about like something
it's bad
mean was said when it's like who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, and also at the end of the day, we're all talking about your show and like it's all good.
It's part of the
show,
job.
Even when you're saying something negative. So that's weird, but I feel like with like Southern Charm, Vanderpump Rules, like it's different because they know what we say.
Yeah, and like a lot of them are younger toasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So with housewives, it's like I wouldn't expect Candice to know what you ever said.
No. I didn't expect like Candice, any of like the housewife older women to know the toast, but I just know some of them from Instagram, like Leah McSweeney, Kyle Richards.
If you were posting your takes on your Instagram stories, they would know.
Yeah. No one was like outwardly really rude. But you know, I was also just feeling insecure. I think it's important to remember, like I was feeling like a nobody insecure. So like I might be projecting like some of my thoughts onto Kyle. You know what I mean? But it was suspicious.
Okay, next question. Claudia, can you talk about your neck surgery? When did you get it? Why did you get it? Was it worth the price? Your girl has neck anxiety over here.
Oh my God. I thought she said, can you talk about your next surgery? I'm like, what should I do next? So many options. Veneers, boobs. My next surgery, yes. So it was done in 2018. And I had just, I've been different weights my whole life. And honestly, my weight doesn't really bother me, except the weight that I carry in my face. I don't really care what my body looks like ever. I look at a photo, I'm always looking at my face. And it was just really bothering me. And it was due simply to the fact that I was overweight. So I decided to get the natural neck lift from Dr. Giese. I had actually went to do Kybella, and she was like, I do not recommend Kybella. And then 2 people I had known who had gotten it said the same thing to me. So she suggested this other procedure, natural neck lift. It's like an outpatient liposuction, where they just do fat removal from your neck, your jowls, your cheeks. And once I was recovering, I then also started a diet. So by the time I was fully recovered, I had also lost 25 pounds. So that combined, I looked amazing. And since then, I have gained weight back, and it does go to my face, but I do think it's much better than what it would have been had I not gotten the surgery.
Yeah.
I just love a snatched jawline, and I don't have one, and I haven't had one for quite some time.
It's looking pretty snatched right now.
Thank you.
For both girls, we got a lot of questions for both of us, so we'll attack some of them in yours. Do you ever stop and think about how crazy it is that you literally have hundreds of thousands of fans that love you and literally hang on every podcast, Patreon, Instagram post? It must be wild when you stop and think.
No, it is weird. It's not weird. It's so crazy how something in the world will happen and people's thoughts are I would love to hear what Claudia and Jackie, we're thought leaders in our community.
Thought leaders. Yeah. No, it is crazy. I don't really stop and think about it a lot because no matter when, however many people were listening 4 years ago versus now, it's just really me and you.
Talking
if we
to
were
you.
doing this show in front of the audience size every single day, it would register more, but it really doesn't register. Sometimes I'll have a really cool moment or something cool will happen or someone cool reaches out and I'm like, wow, the power of the toast. But really in my day to day, I'm just gotta hop on and record with my sister McClurdia.
Same. In my day to day, I never think about it, but going on tour and seeing the personification of our work, that is it pretty much always blows my mind. And I love doing that because I like that every day I'm not thinking about the millions. I'm thinking about you and me and whatever. But to experience it once every few weeks in person is very special and I love it.
Yeah, no, I don't experience it as frequently as you, but when I was at your MSG show.
Right.
Oh my God, I was floored.
By the way, total tangent. We just got a PR box to the studio right before we started recording from Entenmann's. And they have this new product. This is not sponsored, but I was eating it before. It comes in this little pack of 2. It's a truffle, but it's not truffle-y. This is cookies and cream. It's just hard chocolate on the outside and then cookies and cream on the inside. It's so good. You should get them.
Interesting. Yeah, I should. Well, speaking of your snack, we got a lot of questions about your new weight loss.
Okay.
And everyone wants to know what you're doing. How are you feeling? What's inspiring you? Please let us know.
Okay.
Truckers for Claudia's snatchness.
So I decided, I remember where I was, hang on, in May. So what is that, 4 months ago? 5?
5.
That I needed to cut down. For me, I know when I'm getting a little too fat, I can really see it in my face and in pictures. And when I went to the ACM Awards, I just did not like how I felt. I did not like how I looked. I'm an extremely confident person and it takes a lot for me to become not confident. And I was looking frightening. I was also really pale. There was a lot of other things, but the weight was one of them. I just didn't like how I felt. And tour was over in the beginning of May, and then I was rolling out more shows and I knew I'm going to film some, and I'm I don't like the way that I look. I don't want this to be permanently recorded at this weight. I'm not happy. I'm not confident. I don't feel good. I feel tired all the time. I get out of breath on stage. So a lot of the time when I decide to lose weight, it pretty much always has to do with tour because either I'm recording something or I physically can't do it. Like by the time the show ends, I'm like abnormally out of breath and sweating, and like I can't really give it my all. I'm thinking about my breath work as opposed to like being funny. So I decided I was gonna go for it. And like for June and July, like I went really hard, not really in like the healthiest way. Honestly, it was just like literally probably a tenth of what I was eating normally is what I ate in a day. And I lost about like 25-30 pounds that way. And I felt really good just to get like that big chunk off. And I still want to lose more, but now I've really plateaued. I've lost like 6 pounds in the last 6 weeks.
That's good.
Yeah, because now I'm doing it in like a normal. I just needed to get, and I'm not saying that anyone should do this. I just like needed to get those first 25 pounds gone, and I needed them gone in a day. Like I didn't have time to do it healthy and slow. I'm recording a special in December. Like I had time, you know?
Yeah.
Now that I have that down, I want to continue to lose weight, but I'm trying to do it in like a much healthier way. And I'm not really changing so much what I eat, just how much I eat. Like these Entenmann's just arrived. And I'm trying, like I've been eating them all morning and I still haven't finished. You know, I'm like trying to be slow and
How many
like
came in the pack?
2. And I still have half of one left. Like I'm trying to be good. I also have like a lot of food in my house now, which I never had before. Like if I was hungry, I would order something, which is not economical and really insane. So now I keep like lots of pre-prepared like rice, chicken, rice cakes, healthy like popsicles and stuff because I like to eat and I don't like being hungry.
Yeah. No, you don't want to see Claudia hungry.
You don't want to see. But like now if I'm having dinner, I'll almost always have leftovers for lunch the next day.
As opposed to eating
Whereas
the whole
before I would eat the whole thing. And not only is that better for my belly, but also better for my wallet. 2 meals in one. Mm-hmm. Like my dinner from last night, I'll probably get 2 more meals out of it.
What'd you have?
I ordered Mr. Chow and their portions are really big.
Okay, what was the book you mentioned reading on the toast recently?
I can't say. I truly, like I'm actually embarrassed.
That
I can't
was
say.
straight up porn. You can't say.
I can't say. Like I'm embarrassed to have read 96%. I didn't even finish.
Okay. Claudia, which do you prefer, Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon?
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, kind of House of the Dragon, only because, like, especially towards the end, like, everyone was obsessed with Game of Thrones. It was, like, kind of annoying. Like, people were, like, making it their personality traits. And I feel like not a lot of people are, like, as fervently and passionately watching House of the Dragon. And, like, we're cool and different. We're not like other girls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving House of the Dragon, but only because I love Game of Thrones so much and it's harking back to that.
Yeah.
I think if I'd started House of the Dragon and I never watched Game of Thrones, I'd be like, the fuck is this stupid shit?
You know what? I actually just saw a clip on TikTok. Somebody shared like most iconic moments in television history is when the Starks get reunited and Jon Snow and Sansa like accidentally run into each other at like some forlorn castle.
At the wall.
And I was sobbing.
Yeah, at the wall. She goes to the
wall. It was
wall.
snowing. It looked like the wall.
She goes to the wall with
Brienne of Tarth.
And what's that guy's name?
Brienne was there.
Theon Greyjoy.
My king. He got a little out of control, but eventually he reeled it back in. And he paid for his sins.
He paid. Okay, next, Claudia, from a Molly girl.
And you know he's Lily Allen's brother.
Yes. From a Molly girl to a now non-Molly girl, have your removed moles come back at all or left a scar? I'm so scared to get one on my cheek removed.
Okay, that was like my biggest fear because like the first time I ever went to a doctor to be like, get this off me, she's like, the pigment is really dark. It's probably going to come back. Like, don't do it. So I lived with it for a few more years. And then I was like, you know what? It's a chance I'm willing to take. So all in all, I got 4 moles removed. One of them gone perfectly on the side of my neck. Like, you would never know there was a mole there. The other one, the one on my face, which was the most important, left like a little texture. It's not like totally smooth. It looks like maybe like a childhood scar. It's very small and it's so much better than, I'd rather have a big scar than a mole. Like it doesn't bother me. Then the one on my neck in the front left like a decent scar. There's like a mark. It's not crazy. It's not pigmented. So it's just like a little skin malfunction almost. And then the one on the side of my neck, like left pigment. It kind of now is like a flat mole, if that makes sense. But
yeah.
That one's in my hair. It doesn't bother me. It's like it gets covered by my hair.
Got it. Oh, so you would
recommend. So there's varying
to a friend.
degrees. It's based on the color. The darker it is, the harder it is to remove. Like the darker it is, the more likely it is to come back. But and I will say the one on my face like does give me some problems. Like 2 years after I got it removed, the hair follicle got infected and I thought it was a pimple, and I had the biggest pimple on my face where this mole used to be. I eventually went to the doctor. He was like, no, we have to remove your hair follicle. He literally dug into my fucking face. Worth it. Got rid of the hair follicle, got stitches, and then I took like a week to heal.
Wow.
Worth it. I don't care if this is a lifelong problem. I'll go back every year.
Claudia, we need the details about the Chanel bag you bought with Shannon.
Oh, sure. I feel like I've posted it on my Instagram a few times. It's like this olive green, new, I would say, is it large or medium? It's like a decent sized bag. Like you can't fit your laptop in it, but you could fit an iPad in it. It's
yeah,
a great,
I think I have the same size and I could fit my iPad.
I love it. It's honestly, I don't think I've actually in one sitting ever spent that much money. Like in one sitting, it was insane. You know me, I'm more of a like secondhand girl. I love a deal. But like I had a glass of wine and Shannon was buying one, and Shannon actually bought like 4 things. So I was like being poor, but I did it.
And sometimes when you like, I actually find when you buy something like retail, especially spur of the moment, like it comes to be your biggest regret. Whereas like when you ruminate on something and you're like, this is the one that I want, you know that you want it for months and you find a way to get it, like you never regret that one. Have you been experiencing any regret?
Zero regret.
Especially when you drunk shop.
Yeah, I know. Zero regret. I've worn it a ton of times. I've never not gotten compliments on it. And I'm taking really good care of it. And I feel like in a year, I feel like I could sell it for more. Like those bags go for so much if I continue to take really good care of it.
Yeah, no, it's the Chanel 19. And right now on the secondhand market, they go for more or equal to what they go for in store.
So if I can wear the bag for a year, takes tons of pictures in it, and then sell it for break even, that's a win.
An investment
in my future
and your content and your brand.
100%.
Claudia, do you like coffee officially?
No, I don't like coffee. I like my coffee that I make with those 2 ingredients that you introduced me to, and I'll never drink anything. Like me and Ben actually, when we went to go visit Brian, we picked up Starbucks, and I tried to get like a similar. I got like cold brew with half
cold brew.
Oh,
it's so strong.
I tried to recreate it with like the Starbucks things. Like I did like sugar-free hazelnut and then a splash of half and half. It was so disgusting. Like I just like Coffee Mate, hazelnut sugar-free creamer, and Starbucks cold brew medium roast.
Starbucks iced
and a Splenda.
Coffee. You're not drinking cold brew.
Oh, I'm not?
It's a huge difference. Iced coffee is like a pot of coffee over ice. So that brings it down.
Distills
cold
it.
Brew
is
like straight from the teat.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Coffee. And why doesn't Starbucks have jugs of their own iced coffee that they sell at the store? Then maybe I would go.
That is such an important question.
Like Olivia goes to Starbucks and she's like, can I get you anything? I'm like, no, I only like Starbucks.
From Publix. Like it's so stupid. That's an amazing call.
Stupid. Okay, for both of us, what do you think the biggest misconception about you is? We were just talking about this.
Let me truly think about that. Hold on. What do people think of me?
Or alternatively, like the misconception that bothers you the most.
Yeah, no, I feel like they would be the same. Well, the misconception that honestly bothers me the most is that I bought copies of my own book. Like that, it really does bother me because like that's something I'm extremely proud of, and that I actually have receipts, not from not from the bulk purchase, from like, like I have receipts of like my weekly updates on pre-order numbers. I have literal updates from like Amazon, Nest, what's that, Nook. You know what I'm talking about?
You would know.
Barnes and Noble Nook.
You would know if you actually had
like no I have like I'm just saying, and I have the phone call recorded with my publisher when she was like, they put you on a dagger. I'm like, what?
Also
like,
the thing about that is like if you ever put forth the receipts like to show everyone like you just look crazy.
No, I know I would never. And I know like the toasters,
like, there's no, I think the toasters obviously, since you've addressed it, like will obviously believe you, but you really can't clear your name.
No, I know. And it's like honestly, I reached out to the New York Times. I'm like, please, I have nothing to hide. I'll provide any sort of paperwork you need, an audit, a tax return. Like, I'm trying desperately to get my name cleared.
Yeah.
So that one bothers me because that's something like was a really big goal of mine that I accomplished, and I like want to be proud of it. But people are always like, well, she bought her own book with daddy's money. Like, shut up. My dad's dead. What's yours?
So funny. One that like really bothers me, probably not the biggest misconception because there are so many, but like this idea that like we work 2 hours a day.
And that like, does really bother me too.
And I know we like make jokes about it and like kind of feed into it, but like I think people like really take it seriously. Like they think that we do the show and then like the rest of the day we do absolutely nothing. And it's like if you think that's what we do, then what do you think about your favorite podcaster that drops one episode a week and can barely get that up and then like takes 10-week breaks between seasons?
Right. No, like we podcast every day. We do Patreon content. We literally run our own 2 personal brands. We design merch. I'm on tour. We have other projects that we work on. Like I'm
like, a mom.
Oh, right. Oh my God. Thank you.
Most important job in the world.
Spritz. Like we do so much. And like, I agree that one actually really bothers me too.
Yeah, that really bothers me, but I'm never going to be the type of person that's like always like, you know, promoting the hustle and stuff, because that's actually like
that's
not
toxic
my philosophy. And I don't know where I heard this once. I think it was like a commercial with Michael Phelps for like a watch, but it's like what you do in the dark shows in the light. And it's like, I'll let the work speak for itself. Like I don't need to like show everyone what I'm doing all the time, but it like bothers me that people think that we don't work.
No, I know it bothers me too, especially because like we work a lot. Like yeah.
Next, as someone who has also been with their husband since they were a youngin', do you ever get judgment about being married so young, and how do you respond?
No, I don't get it anymore. When we were younger and getting married, people would like give us, you know, eyes and like they couldn't believe it. Now I feel like there's proof in the pudding, so like nobody bothers us with it anymore. And it didn't bother me back then.
I feel like whenever we would have like a Real Housewife on the show, they would like ask you about your ring or your wedding, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, my daughter's 23." Like
literally.
And it's like, okay.
And honestly, though, in hindsight, like I do see why people were like a little judgy about it, because like it is kind of crazy. And I heard JC Marie Smith say this, and like it really resonated with me because she had a similar like marriage history. She was like, we would get like such crazy comments. And honestly, now I would tell people like, don't get married young. And that's not because my marriage isn't good, but it's because like I truly believe like my marriage is the exception. Like I've seen how much we've grown and become different people, and it's very possible we could have grown into people who did not like each other.
Yeah.
So I understand why people are rude about it. There's a way to be less rude about it. I understand the thinking, and I do really believe, like JC said, like I believe like my marriage is the exception, honestly.
Yeah, but I also think that like a comment from a stranger isn't gonna
make me see
you do
the light
differently.
Yeah.
So save your comments. Like unless it's someone really close to you, I don't think that there's need for a comment.
Agreed.
Next, Claudia. What is the best winter coat brand? Need one that covers my ankles because I can't take the cold.
Ankles?
You know those.
Stay inside. When I tell you I do not fuck with winter coats, like at all, I never have. Like some people like back to school shopping once a year, they get a new coat. No, for me, like maybe I'll find a coat in the middle of December because things have gotten so desperate. Right now I'm currently wearing a Theory one that's fabulous because I got it for free. There's certain things I'm like snobbish about. I think like the winter coats from Zara are fine, like for real.
I never really invested in a puffy winter coat, mostly because I just thought they were ugly, and that's not what I wanted to spend my money on. And I think recently they've become cool, like the Vitamins ones that like really, and like that's like what Kim wears sometimes. It's like, you know, bulky winter coats. So now I'm like, oh, it's cool, I'll buy a nice one. And last season I did buy one from Acme, and I love it, and I wish I had it sooner. And it's so crazy because like grew up in New York, I went to school upstate, like fucking freezing, and I guess along the way like I did get like some puffer coats, but it was like I could have been so much warmer if I just got a coat that's not like the cutest thing ever.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
No, if you're really like living in the Arctic, like don't go for fashion, go for warm.
And I do think if you're living in the Arctic, don't go for Zara because it's not warm enough.
Yeah, no, like you have to go to the North Face.
You got to go to the North Face. Yeah.
Patagonia.
Canada Goose. Don't cancel
They
me.
test on animals, or no, they use real animals.
Goose feathers.
It ain't right.
Yeah. So does North Face not?
No.
Well, do what you think is best.
Montclair is good too.
Yeah. Not the warmest.
They're literally $4,000. Ben one time like had a meeting with
They're
them.
not the warmest though.
Yes, they are. They're like really well made.
They're well made because they're actually like puffers, but they're actually kind of thin. But
no, not all of them. Not Ben's.
all of them. But the ones that are like the classic ladies ones, not Ben's big ass one.
Ben had a meeting with an investor, and then like literally as a thank you, the next day, a Montclair jacket, scarf, and hat showed up at our door. We were shook. I'm like, Ben, what did you do in this meeting?
I don't know how to tell you this, but Ben is a sugar baby.
No, that's the Ben effect. Like, I go to meetings with people and I never hear from them again. Ben gets a $4,000 jacket sent to the house.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say one other brand of winter coat that I had that I liked.
Riveting.
Riveting. No, what jacket was I just thinking about? Shucks. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I like that Acme one, though. That was a good one. Next, what is your opinion on therapy for both of you? What are y'all's experiences with, if any, therapy have been?
So I see the value in therapy, and I often think like thoughts, and then I'm like, oh, that would be a good thing to say in therapy. Like that's
Agreed.
And I have, I think I would benefit from it. The 2 different times that I tried, I hated it. The first time, honestly, I was like in a bad spot. It was like maybe early, was it before the pandemic? Yeah, it was before the pandemic. I was just in a bad spot and I was like, let's do therapy. And like, it's just like our job is very niche. And this man had like nary a clue, could understand what we did for a living. Then I got a recommendation and I tried it again during COVID. It was remote, which I didn't like. And she kept talking about my weight. And I didn't even bring it up. And she was like, well, maybe, and I was talking about daddy. And she was like, well, you know, it probably harks back to your father dying of obesity. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, he died of a heart attack. I literally never said that. Not you inferring about my weight and his weight. It was so toxic. I never saw her again.
Yeah, and they just like love to listen to your problems and like blame it on your parents. And it's like,
I know, and sometimes it's not that.
Get a little more creative.
100%.
No, I agree with you. Like, I think therapy is great. I would recommend it to so many people. And I think that so many people, like, the exact thing that they need is therapy. And like, there is some really good intensive therapy. Like, if you read Good Morning Monster, like, where it can change a person's life. It can save a person's life.
Totally.
I think there's also like a brand of therapy though, where it's like, my friends are tired of hearing me talk about my problems and I just like want to go and vent. And
I thought you were going to say there's a brand of people who actually, I don't think would benefit from therapy. And I think that's you.
Oh, well, then I was going to talk about myself because I was just saying on therapy in general. Like, I do think some people, you know, just go just to talk and then you just get into talking in circles, but you're not actually changing your behavior. And it's like, did you come here to change something or just
to talk?
To have another person to listen to you and you'll pay them to listen.
Right.
Me personally with therapy, like I've tried it and I've like done it and I don't really think I'm the right candidate, you know?
Agreed.
Like, but I've also like I've definitely gotten stuff out of it, but I think so deeply about myself and like everything that I do that it's like whatever you're thinking, like I probably already reached some of the conclusions and like I self-analyze all the time. Not to say like I don't need therapy. I probably could if I met Catherine Gildener from Good Morning Monster, like I'd let her therapize me.
Right.
But I don't know. That's just not how I get through stuff.
I'm just like too lazy. Like I know I could probably really benefit from it, but like every week, nah.
And like I find it to be really draining and exhausting to like excavate some stuff that like is buried for a reason. And I'm okay with that.
Hella paranoid about like telling people my secrets. I'm like, well, what is HIPAA? What is stopping you from just posting it on Reddit? You know?
Right. So I just don't think I'm like the best candidate, but I think it's incredibly valuable and important like for people who need it. And when you find a great therapist, because there are some.
That's really the whole thing.
But then there are some who, and admittedly, like just write prescriptions and like, barely listen to what you have to say. I did a 10-minute Zoom once and I got some Xanax.
Gotta get that guy's number.
No, it honestly wasn't worth the time.
That's funny.
Okay, next question for both. You guys are Jewish queens. What is one thing about Jewish culture / religion that we should know?
I feel like we've said it. Like we talk about it all the time.
We talk about it all the time. And I actually love the Toasters so much because whenever they see anti-Semitism, they're like always calling it out. And they're always like, what can we do? How can we help? Like,
It's really thoughtful.
I stand with my Jewish brothers and sisters, and they also have never met a Jew at the same time. Like, it's
Right.
so nice. And for me, like, what I just want to say to people is, like, support Israel. Israel is the most important thing for the Jewish people. Like, I can imagine it might be hard to make that connection for some people, but for me, if you want to support the Jews, you got to support Israel.
And I think if you're looking for a connection, just think about how if Israel had existed during the Holocaust and the Jews had a homeland, how many lives would have been saved. And
Just
that's why Israel was established in 1948 after the Holocaust, because it's like no one would take the Jews in. So why don't we give them their own fucking homeland, and then they'll have a place to go and be safe.
Yeah. Next up, how often do you get recognized in public? Are you feeling the annoyance of being a celebrity?
Annoyance couldn't be me. I'm getting recognized pretty much every day, honestly. Every day that I leave my house, you know?
Okay, yeah. No, it's
Which isn't every day, by the way.
It's girl with no job.
Oh, yeah, which isn't every day. So it's important to keep that in mind. But if I leave my house, I am getting recognized probably multiple times, depending on where I'm going. Like some places, are toaster centric, like Bloomingdale's, Knicks games, like certain institutions in New York. A kosher restaurant, forget about it. Like I'm Princess Diana.
Yeah.
So it just depends on where I'm going, but pretty much every day. Maybe not all day, every day, but every day, yeah. What's that from?
Something really sweet.
No, it's not. It's from Sex and the City when it's like, how often are you happy in my marriage?
Yeah, no, and that's what
She's like
Charlotte
every
says.
day. And Samantha's like, every day? Well, not all day, every day, but yeah, every day.
That's what Charlotte says, and it's really
Yeah,
sweet.
it is sweet, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get, I'm constantly like home, period. I'm not really much for a social life these days, but so far down here, I don't get recognized a lot. Not nearly as much as
That's
New
why
York.
I can't move.
That's really why you can't move. You'll be like holding meet and greets
In my driveway.
at Publix. Next, Claudia, are you going to write another book ever?
Yes, but I haven't started. I haven't pitched it. I don't even have a book proposal. I have literally nothing to say. I've done nothing with my life since my book came out last. I'll probably do it when I have a child. Like I need to what would I write about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wrote about my first 26 years. All the good shit is in the first book. So I need to live a little.
Next, it's just 3 years.
Yeah, and I don't want to do it just to make money because I don't put things out just to put them out. Like I want it to be good. I want to have something to say. I had a lot to say in the first book, and it felt really good to release it and like cathartic, like I was taking a dump. So I want that same experience.
Yeah. Claudia, beside the birth part, did Jackie having a baby give you any desire to have one of your own? I love that Kayla and Harry are in 2 different stages, but both stages are fun to hang with.
No. Honestly, like I feel like I was a part of like your whole journey. Like and it was hard. Like it was really hard. Like the breastfeeding, you had a lot of trouble, and like Harry was like, cranky a lot. Like it was hard. And I was like, damn, I cannot wait to go back to my house.
Damn, are you talking crap about Harry? Should I
Not
tell
at
him?
all.
Call him cranky?
You're literally a hero. I was actually thinking yesterday I wanted to tell you on the podcast, like, because I wanted people to hear me being so nice. Not that I couldn't say it to you in person, but like you really are like an amazing mom, like amazing mom. Because I was watching this. Man, I'm literally gonna cry. I was watching this video. I was looking for something in my phone, and I was watching this video of like you feeding Harry, and it was so cute. And I was like, wow, she really is the best mom. Especially because like Harry was like a difficult child for a few months. Like he couldn't get his timing right. Like he couldn't get his shit together. So he was a tough baby, and so it didn't make me like want to run towards it
Right.
immediately, because you dealt with a lot very well, might I add.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm not talking crap.
No, I didn't think that you were. And I know what you're talking about. He's very vocal, young boy.
By the way, and he settled into a real gentleman. But there was a few months when like he wouldn't shut up.
Yeah, no, but he still likes to hoot and holler, like especially in the night. He likes to make himself known. It's what I love about him.
He is my nephew.
But I also feel like now he's in more of a routine, like he's getting food before he's hungry sort of thing. His stomach is bigger, whereas when he was little, like he was always hungry and like
Hungry.
he's gonna let you know.
Yeah. No, he's growing up. They really do grow up so fast.
Yeah, one of my questions was like, what was something about motherhood that like you didn't realize, or like having a baby? And I really didn't realize how like every baby is so different. Like, of course, there's, you know, you hear about colicky babies, these kind of babies, but like it could be a completely different experience for two different moms. You know?
I mean, you and Olivia, hello.
Right, exactly. Like we had completely different experiences.
Yeah, like I FaceTimed her yesterday and the kid is sucking on the tit like it's nothing. And I remember with you, like you had so much trouble with the latch.
No. He latched, but it was just so painful.
She's sitting there typing emails, titty sucking, like it's nothing.
Yeah. Next, for both, what has been the best part of the Dear Media partnership and rebrand?
That's a really good question. Honestly, like these sickening photos that came out. Like I'm obsessed with the photos. They're the background on my phone, like they're the background on my computer. I'm obsessed.
It's like we could have done that at any time, by the way.
It had nothing to do with Dear Media. Like we did it ourselves and we were planning. We should have done it a while ago. You were right.
That's what I was just going to say, because now I'm realizing like all of that started because I didn't like our artwork. Which is so mean, yeah. And we could have done that anytime.
Years ago, yeah.
Anytime we wanted. But no, honestly, the best part so far is like how excited everyone is for us. I didn't expect that, really. Like
same.
It's cool. Like, I mean, we were excited to announce it, but then like everybody being so excited like made me so much even more excited.
Same. And everyone thinking like it was such a great business deal for Michael and for us. Like everyone's like, you guys are so smart. I'm like, yes we are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Us smart? No.
Claudia, fuck, marry, kill. Spooky, scary skeletons, pajamas, smelly pillow, rice.
Okay, I'm going to kill Bryce. No, I'm kidding. I'm probably going to kill spooky, scary skeletons only because they're on their last leg.
No pun intended.
I gotta marry Smelly Pillow for the sake of my neck and back. And then I'll fuck Bryce because I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Rice. Not Bryce. Disgusting.
Oh, Rice. Oh, okay. I'm gonna marry Rice, fuck Smelly Pillow, throw away scary skeletons.
You've got your priorities all out of order.
Yeah.
Claude, obviously we know you can't tell us what, but is there a new flavor of spritz coming for the winter season?
I can't tell you.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Claudia, need to know.
Actually, sorry. I'll be annoying and give Patreon. There is.
Yeah.
It's.
Just.
Okay.
There is.
Period.
That was the question. You don't have to give anymore. Next, Claudia, what are your thoughts on the Bethany drama on TikTok, sending cease and desist to creators, talking about her, the Heather McDonald of it all, etc.?
Okay, I have a lot to say about the cease and desist thing. Like, Bethany is annoying the fuck out of me these days. Like, the way she's becoming like a professional troll, and like her takes are horrible. Her takes on the Kardashians are trash. Like, she has the worst calls, and her sending cease and desists is like psychotic. But I just want to say, like, this culture of people, like creators, like their whole vibe is like making takedown videos and like using documents they find on the internet and like all these different databases to like speak as if it's the truth when like they know nothing. Like you shouldn't just be able to send a cease and desist to someone who's like talking about you, because it's like Bethany's a multi-millionaire and this is just like a small creator. But also, like, there needs to be accountability for creators who just say shit.
Yeah. Or like, and also for people who get it wrong, like that you should have like a demerit on your profile if like you inaccurately,
like you're doing a deep dive, you find all these like legal documents.
Like if Kylie's baby's name is not Kristan, then that girl should have a demerit on her.
No, because that to me is like a very safe like fodder on the internet. It doesn't hurt anyone. She's not disparaging Kylie, but like a lot of the videos that a lot of people make are like these attempts to disparage Bethany and her business and like use like the different databases online to find like court documents. Like, so if you're like not 100% right, like you can't just go around disparaging people. Like there are consequences in this country.
What did she say disparagingly? I just thought because
the thing is, I don't know enough about it.
She was like showing a new trademark and being like, Bethany has this brand coming out and like Bethany's not ready to put it out. I don't know anything.
I don't know. But I've seen that creator's TikToks and she's like always like trying to take women down by like using documents she finds on the internet.
Got it. Okay, next. Claudia, did you let Shannon spray tan your whole body last week in Nashville, or did you do a tasteful chest up?
I did a
good of
tasteful
friends
chest
are we
up.
talking?
I did a tasteful chest up, mostly because I needed it for my show, and I wear long sleeve and pants, and my legs weren't shaved, and I was wearing granny panties, and I wasn't going to let Shannon see me like that.
Understood.
Good question, though.
Claude, we got a lot of questions about your Girl with No Job Instagram account. Some good, interesting questions. One,
Okay.
why did you stop posting memes on Gwunch? Two, how happy are you that Gwunch is no longer a meme account? And then three, we need to talk about Girl with No Job.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so why did I stop posting memes? I feel like meme culture evolved.
Not for me.
LOL, but like vertical video, TikTok, Reels, like that is the future of content. So I'm just like rolling with, like, I need to stay relevant, and I need to
Change with the times.
Change with the times. So I started posting vertical video. A lot of it was like TikToks, and then I was just doing strictly original content because I was having so much fun on TikTok. And I I'm super happy about it because I'm having a lot of fun, and it's been great for my growth. I feel like there was like a year where like I was pretty stagnant on Instagram in terms of growth, and I've kind of popped off in the last couple of months because I'm just doing what the algorithm tells me to. So I'm really pleased about it. Now we need to talk about Girl with No Job. Why?
Because, like, we love a rebrand.
I know. I've been thinking about it a lot too.
You have so many jobs.
I know.
And, like, you're not, I think now you're more of a personality than you are, like, an Instagram account.
No, I know. But, like, how could I possibly do that? It's like the name of my book. Like, everyone knows me like that. Like, I don't think I could. Seriously, like, I would love to hear people's thoughts, honestly, because I would love to not be it anymore. But like, it holds a really special place in my heart.
Of course, I'm not saying like, you know,
and I would have to take the
stake.
name and do something else with it.
Yeah, you could do a different sort of thing with it. I just feel like, I'm not saying tomorrow change your handle. I just think it's something you should think about.
I know. I have thought about it. It
like,
pops
you're a
into my
comedian.
mind.
That has nothing to do with Girl with No Job. You're
I
a
know.
podcaster, nothing to do with Girl with No Job. Like, what is Girl with No Job?
No,
Who
I know.
is Girl with No Job?
No, you're so right.
That's
You're making me want to change
Patreon
it right now.
episode. Who
That's
is-
actually this one because it's my Q&A.
That's what we're titling it. Who is
Yeah.
Girl with No Job?
No, it's a good point.
Not to say like she wasn't amazing. And
No, like I would cry for real.
no, I know we would need to hold a vigil,
Patreon.
but it's something to think about. Of course,
Yeah.
I'll support you no matter what you do.
No, you know I'm only going to do whatever it is that you support.
I just think like to be evolving is always good,
Yeah, I agree.
and a rebrand is always good.
Always.
McClardia, how did you meet some of your famous friends? TPG, Nikki and Paris, Vanderpump Rules girlies, etc. All different answers here.
Yeah. Who was TPG? I met in the Instagram DMs. He was a guest on The Breath, and then it was love at first sight. We went out after that. I didn't know he was gay when I met him, and then he was like, "Do you want to go to Countess with the Cabaret opening night? I have tickets." I'm like, "Wait, are you gay?" And he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Fuck yes." So then we became best friends after that. Nikki and Paris, I met through my friend Cade, who of Vanderpump Rules at the Vanderpump Bar Crawl. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but that's also like just Instagram mutual follows.
Yeah, mostly like I'll meet people in real life who I know via Instagram. Either like they follow me, we've messaged before, and then the friendship, it's like less weird to introduce yourself because like they know your internet personality. So mostly it's people I've spoken to online and then happen to run into them at like an event or a party or something.
Right. And then also like on the Toast, that's how a lot of interviews
Yes.
and The Breath, that how they used to come to be just like DMs. And then once you meet someone on the show, like you got a nice rapport for the most part.
Totally.
Next, Claudia, what was your favorite and least favorite location on your tour? I was at the Austin show and it was premium.
Favorites, DC, Nashville. Honestly, Pittsburgh was up there. Least favorite was probably LA, but only because I was like really nervous for that show because there was like a lot of buyers and like
Industry peeps, big wigs.
Yeah, and that freaks me out. Like I just don't like that, and I don't think I did very good. It wasn't my best show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. For both, what are the positives and negatives about living in different states?
There's like no positive, except that like I have like a summer house I can go to, you know, a house with a pool that I don't have to pay for. Like if I go to Florida, like I always have a place to stay.
Yeah, you have like a getaway whenever you need to get
I have a
away.
vacation home.
Also, a weird positive, I feel like when we do the show together, like over the last few years when we'd be in studio together and we did like a long run of shows without a break, like we would burn out more.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way doing the remote episodes at all. Like every day it's like so exciting to see you. Hey girlie, how are you?
No, that's a good point. Yeah. Obviously the negatives are like obvious.
Bountiful. Can't even count the ways. Terrible.
I think let's do one more and then the next episode will be your questions. Even though I did notice you chose a lot of both, so I'll be doing that too during yours.
I put both in each of ours because I didn't know who was going first, okay? But yeah, take everything personally. Why don't you? Why don't you? Okay, I'm going to pick a really good one.
All right, I'm waiting.
Okay, I'm going to put two together that I think will make for an interesting topic of conversation. What is the biggest change you've noticed in your life since having two sisters move away? And how having the sisters move away affected your relationship with the snitch?
I don't like that question. Can you choose a different one? It's like so layered, and honestly, like I don't know. Like that's like a question. It's like an essay question. Like I need a conclusion, opposing arguments,
and an opening statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like do something simple. Like silly.
Okay, Claudia, I want to become a reading girly and I want to know what the top 3 books to start with are, but I want them porn style.
Perfect. Now, the first, hold on, let me just check my
your private Goodreads.
Oh, you know what? My private, literally. I think I might include Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. If you're an entry book girly, Colleen Hoover's a really good entry point.
Oh, yeah. She's always really good. But now that you're reading porn-iture, Coho doesn't even have that much for you, I'm guessing.
I'm done. I'm literally done with her. Like, it's not enough.
Too prude.
Okay, but Ugly Love is very porny, and it's like really good. So I would do Ugly Love. I would do, I don't know.
Do you still think It Happened One Summer is very porny now compared to?
Yes.
And also because like at the time it was the porniest, so you're always going to
No, and that's like the level I like plot, character development, and porn.
Yes.
If I wanted just porn, I would read erotica, you know?
Yeah.
I might, okay, so, oh my God, honestly, this is really hard. Oh, Things We Never Got Over, Ugly Love.
Things in Which to Get Over.
And then I would do Crossing the Line by Lucy Score. There's 2 Lucy Score. Lucy Score is the new Colleen Hoover. You heard it here first.
Wow. If she's too tame for you.
Yeah, no, if you need more
Lucy
to get
Score.
off. Well, thank you for the thoughtful questions, Patreon and Jax. Our next episode, this one will go up today, and then our next episode maybe we'll record Friday when we're together in your studio.
Yeah, you'll be interviewing me. The questions you guys wrote for me are really good too.
I have a feeling it'll be a lot of both of us questions.
It will be. There were still so many more questions for you. I don't even know how many I got through.
Part 2.
Let us know.
And 3 and 4. So thank you guys for being Patreon members. We love you dearly, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.